Some people think I eat burgers all day long, every day, which is sort of true, but I do like to make other food. I'm going to show you things you can do with ground beef that doesn't involve making a hamburger. This is my mom's recipe for the meatloaf sandwich. Everyone has a meatloaf recipe, and it seems like the only way it's served in restaurants is with gravy on it, which is odd to me. Although I've enjoyed meatloaf my entire life, my favorite way to enjoy meatloaf is on white bread in a sandwich. There is historical proof that minced cooked beef formed into a loaf goes all the way back to the 5th century Roman Empire. How crazy is that? My mom makes the best meatloaf sandwich, but I was reminded recently that this is actually not her recipe. This recipe came to the family from my father's nanny, Nora, and goes all the way back to the 1940s. My mom loves Nora's recipe because, as she says, it's plain but good. And my dad, who's not the most adventurous eater, loved Nora's recipe because, as he would say, there were no foreign bodies in it. And what I think he meant by no foreign bodies was there were no bits of onion and parsley in there or other weird stuff. Meatloaf is simple because everything gets thrown into a bowl, mixed up by hand, formed into a loaf, and then thrown in the oven. That's it. Let's do that. Fresh ground beef, ketchup, breadcrumbs, eggs, heavy cream, salt, onion powder, Dijon, Tabasco, Worcestershire. You probably already know how I feel about ketchup. But this is ketchup as an ingredient, not as a topping on a burger. Now the fun part. It's all in the hands. Try this with your kids. They'd love this. Also, it's really good to get close to your food. This is a great way to get close to your food. Get right in there. You just want to make sure that it's fairly uniform. That's pretty uniform. So we're done here. Assuming you're making meatloaf sandwiches, you want to be able to shape this thing into a log and then press it into the shape of a loaf of bread. Slapping. Into the pan it goes, right in the center of the pan. And you don't have to grease the pan because this thing is going to create its own grease. There is a point where meatloaf has to be slathered with ketchup. I refuse to slather this thing with ketchup. Sorry, Nora. Sorry, Mom. So instead, I'm using barbecue sauce. I use ketchup inside, but I'm going to use barbecue sauce on the outside. I can't bring myself to slather it with ketchup. So we're using barbecue sauce. And there you have it. That's it. How easy was that? This goes in the oven for 55 minutes at 350, period. According to Nora, that was the only way to do it. When your meatloaf is done, take it out, let it cool, and then stick it in the refrigerator for a few hours or overnight. Looks good. It's like a football of meat. Use a good knife. Don't mess around here. There it is. Look at that. Ooh. My mom uses ketchup on one side and mayo on the other. I'm gonna use mayo on both sides because I don't like ketchup that much. You ready for this? The meatloaf sandwich is nothing more than this. Boom. And boom. The cold meatloaf sandwich. An American favorite, a family favorite. Using fresh ground beef. Get the recipe on schweidsons.com or my website, georgemotz.com. Well.